Namaste, Jai Hind. Welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan. As we speak, ladies and gentlemen, the lives of more than 4,000 Indian citizens or people of Indian origin who live in the African nation of Sudan is in great peril. That nation is in strife, and there are efforts to ensure and secure the lives of those who are now caught in the conflict regions. As violence between rival armed groups continues to simmer in Sudan, Indians stranded in the war zone, the Sudan conflict itself has now multiple dimensions. The US Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, brokered a 24-hour-long ceasefire in the nation after an American diplomatic convoy came under fire. But reports claim that just minutes after the ceasefire was agreed upon, fighting continued in parts of Sudan's capital, Khartoum. Gunfire and explosions were heard around the military headquarters and the Republican Palace. Reports also suggest that a few people managed to venture out, and small crowds were seen outside bakeries and people scrambling to buy essential supplies. There's no confirmed death toll from the nation yet, but UN reports have suggested that over 185 people have been killed and over 1,800 have been injured. Reports also suggest that many injured are unable to reach hospitals, and some of the hospitals in Khartoum and also the Bahri region or the outskirts of Khartoum area have actually shut down because of intense shelling. In the backdrop, Sudan has witnessed more than a dozen coup attempts since it gained independence in 1958. At the heart of this entire conflict is Army Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and also the commander of the Rapid Support Forces, General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo. Both led the first transitional government only to preserve power for themselves. Both of them enabled Omar al-Bashir's dictatorship before eventually demanding his ouster in 2019. Former Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok was also forced out in 2022 by General al-Burhan and General Dagalo. The Indian government is keeping close watch on the developments in Sudan. Sources tell News 18 that the government has taken up some measures. Diplomatically, they have tried to lean on nations who have control or access to the leadership in Sudan. The External Affairs Minister, Dr. Subramaniam Jaishankar, has spoken to counterparts in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. They are also engaging with the US and the United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia and the UAE. This is the quartet that also formed the Quad to be able to exert their influence in Sudan and control proceedings there. This tussle is also Sudan's access to the Red Sea and, of course, the Russian influence and the fear that Russia would want to increase its presence there. India working with the United Nations and also because they have substantial presence there. The WHO has a significant presence there. There's a dedicated control room that's been set up in New Delhi. There are helpline numbers that are also flashing at the bottom of our screens right now. Regular reports of status is also being taken from Khartoum, where largely the political fight is on. Meanwhile, closer home, BJP and the Congress are engaging in a war on social media, especially on Twitter. It was former Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah who started this entire debate. In a tweet, he said it is reported that 31 people from Karnataka belonging to the Hakki-Pikki tribe are stranded in Sudan, which is troubled by civil war. I urge PMO India, Narendra Modi, MEA and Chief Minister Bommai to immediately intervene and ensure their safe return. To which External Affairs Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar gave a strong reply and said, simply appalled at your tweet. There are lives at stake. Don't do politics. Since the fighting started on the 14th of April, the Embassy of India in Khartoum has been continuously in touch with most Indian nationals and PIOs in Sudan. And that number is not limited to 31 people from the state of Karnataka, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, nearly 4,000 people across Sudan are present. So people with Indian nationality or Indian origin. Nearly 1,000 families have made Sudan their home. Jairam Ramesh then waded into the debate and said a most appalling response from the External Affairs Minister to a former Chief Minister with a genuine appeal. This level of nastiness from a man I've known so very well, who has developed new loyalties and who wants to show that in whatever he does and says. BJP's Tejasvi Surya hit back at the Congress and said S. Jaishankar reprimanding Siddaramaiah for his irresponsible politics serves as a reminder to all who Siddaramaiah, the politician, really is. He said one must not compromise core Kannada interests in lieu of electoral gains. This divide and rule mindset has no place in #New India. The latest to join the fight is Congress's Shashi Tharoor. On this issue, Dr. Jaishankar's response surprises me. He knows that public representatives frequently convey to government appeals from constituents in distress. He has helped me with several during COVID. Why was Siddaramaiah ji's request appalling? Let's move. Let's try and connect with some of the Indian citizens who are stranded in Sudan. And we'll attempt. It's very poor internet connection, but let's try and see. नमस्ते, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है? आप लोग कितने लोग हैं और कहां पर हैं आप लोग?
हाँ सर,
आवाज आ रही है?
31 लोग हैं।
हाँ जी।
31 लोग
जी।
इस घर में 31 लोग हैं।
21 लोग हैं।
और हमारी हालत पूरी बुरी तरीके से हम फंस गए हैं। हमारी हालत बहुत बेचैनी सी है। समझो कि हमारे को यकीन नहीं हो रहा है हम कैसे जी रहे हैं और गांव जाएंगे या यहीं पे मर जाएंगे, वो वाला डर हमारे पे घुस गया है।
हाँ। आप लोग खार्तूम में हैं? कहां पर हैं आप सुदान में? हेलो,
खार्तूम से 1200 किलोमीटर दूर है अल्फाशेर सिटी। अल्फाशेर
में है आप। खार्तूम से कम 1200 किलोमीटर दूर। वहां कैसे हालात हैं? वहां भी फायरिंग हो रही है, लड़ाई हो रही है?
सेम पूरा सेम टू जो खार्तूम में हो रहा है वो अल्फाशेर में हो रहा है। पूरी बम फायर हो रही है, मिसाइल फायर हो रही है, बंदूक शूट हो रहा है। सुबह 3 बजे को चालू हो जाता है तो हम बिस्तर से कांप उठते हैं। रात को पानी वगैरह पी लेके सोते हैं तो बिस्तर से कांप उठते हैं। सुबह 6-10 बजे तक फायरिंग चलती है। तो 2 दिन से कम हुआ है, बस दोपहर को अब ये टाइम में थोड़ा बंद हुआ है। फिर 4 बजे से फिर चालू हो जाता है 10-11 बजे तक। फिर हमको रात को नींद भी नहीं हो सकती है। बहुत परेशानी। हम घर के अंदर ही माथा पटकने लगते हैं दीवार पे। कैसे भागेंगे, किधर भागेंगे? अंदर तो गोलियां भी आने लगी है। फिलहाल ये देखिए गोली, और एक गोली लगी हुई है दीवार पे। हमारा बच्चा खड़ा हुआ था, लड़का। ये देखिए गोली, ये जो बुलेट है अंदर गिर रही है। जो बाहर से फायरिंग चल रही है तो ये बुलेट घर पे आ रही है, अंदर आ रही है। तो हमारे को ना बहुत डर का मैसेज आ रहा है। ये इसको देखने के बाद पता नहीं चलेगा कब किसके माथे पे लगेगी, ये किसके सीने पे लगेगी।
अरे बाप रे। लेकिन आप ये कह रहे हैं कि ये
बहुत डर सा महसूस हो रहा है।
Ladies and gentlemen, this is important because this is not Khartoum itself. So far the reports were that the firing and the fights are in Khartoum. This is 1200 kilometers from Khartoum, the city of Al-Fasher, from where we've been able to connect with Indian citizens. एक बात बताइए, अगर आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है तो आप मैनेज कैसे कर रहे हैं? खाने पीने का क्या कर रहे हैं, कैसे कर रहे हैं?
नहीं साहब, 4 दिन से तो हम लोग खाना पानी से बहुत परेशान हो गया। 4 दिन से खाना पानी नहीं था। तो इधर घर के अंदर जो पानी का कुआं होता है, तो टोटी होता है ना,
हाँ।
उसके अंदर का पानी पिया था हम लोग ने 4 दिन। बाद में एक आधा घंटे के लिए एक दुकान खुली हुई थी, थोड़ा फायरिंग कम होने के बाद। तो उस दुकान में ना हमारे पास जो भी पैसे थे उसमें 2-3 किलो रेशन ले लिया सबने खाना बना के खाया 1 दिन के लिए। कल खाया था हम लोगों ने खाना, तो बचे हुए खाना आज सुबह खाया हम लोग ने, बासी खाना।
हाँ।
तो अभी फायरिंग सुबह से ही चल रही थी। अभी फिलहाल थोड़ी बंद हुई है। अब फिर दुकानें नहीं खुली हुई है। अभी दुकानें
अभी खुली नहीं है, लेकिन कोई सीज फायर अनाउंस हुआ है? बताया गया सीज फायर अनाउंस हुआ है, फायरिंग कम हुई है। और आप लोग और कितने लोग हैं वहां?
नहीं किया अभी तक। तो देखिए ये ऐसा ब्लड फायरिंग हो रही है, तो ऐसा शूट आउट हमारे माथे से जो गोलियां जाती है उसका साउंड तक हमारे को सुनाई देता है। हम बहुत ये उधर से इधर से पूरी फायरिंग होती है, सामने से पीछे से पूरी फायरिंग होती है। तो देखिए यहाँ पे फायरिंग आई थी, यहाँ पे एक लड़का खड़ा।
It's a very poor internet connection there, ladies and gentlemen. I think we seem to have lost them. We seem to have lost this family, and they are about 21 people. And this is Al-Fasher, the city of Al-Fasher, which is about 1200 kilometers away from Khartoum. So earlier through the day, we were able to connect with Indian citizens who were stranded in Khartoum, and they said they wanted to get out because there was intense firing. But this is 1200 kilometers away in Al-Fasher. And one wonders if the Indian embassy and the Indian government is in touch with these Indian citizens who are there in Al-Fasher. 21 of them in that compound. Are there others too? We do not know. I think I'm being told that we've just lost the internet connection. It's just dropped down. The connectivity has dropped down. We will try and connect with them again. Local time is around 4 p.m. there. And that's what he said. 4 बजे से फिर से firing शुरू हो जाता है. 10 बजे तक फिर it is intense firing. So we can only hope and pray for their safety, and that they are also considered in that entire list of Indian citizens who are being monitored by the embassy in Sudan. Big concern this. It's a humanitarian crisis. Let's hope that India is able to use its diplomatic clout and goodwill on nations which have immense influence on the Sudanese nation and the authorities and the two fighting groups there, and ensure the safety of our citizens. We'll get a move on here on The Right Stand for